Because I thought it would let me turn it to its side, but it won't.
It must be vertical.
I don't know why. Yeah, which is why I wanted to kind of do from two different locations or whatever.
Okay.
This thing is in the way. I don't want to see it. I wonder if it'll disappear, okay? It won't, will it? You know what I mean? They don't see that little whatchamacallit bar.
Okay. She's a perfectionist, y'all. I love it.
I know. Welcome to Say Anything with Tina B. I am Tina B. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we have the wonderful, the fabulous Beryllium Spalding, who also has her own YouTube channel.
Two of them actually. One of them is Beryllium Smart, and that's BERYLLIUM Smart, SMART. And the other one is Sister Big Bones' Life. And yeah, both of those.
This is bugging me. The angle is bugging me. Okay. Better. Okay. Right? It's that thing that's in the way. It's not letting me see this thing.
I think it's going to be okay.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about a subject that has come up in the last couple of months for me specifically. I keep running into this. It's a problem. Black women are dimming their light, are not sharing how intelligent they are.
Yes.
And the question is, why do we do this? I've done it myself. But more than recently, I've come across a plethora, of Black intelligent women that are not sharing their intelligence. Meaning I'm not talking about bragging, I'm talking about they're not even sharing the basic, they're withholding, they're keeping it close for whatever reason. And I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. Because it takes time to get to know people. And I'm finding out things about people that I've known for a year now. And I've been like, wow, this is amazing. You were amazing before, and you're still amazing, but this is really amazing information. I wish I would have known it a year ago. Not that I, could have done anything with it, other than mull over it, but at least I would, I feel like, there would have been conversations that I probably would have had.
Yes.
That you could have had a year ago, that now we're just having now. Because you want it. I was always taught you meet people where they're at.
Absolutely.
And so if you don't know where a person is at, without having more engagement, it's like you don't want to speak over or under. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to insult anyone.
Right. It takes time to get to know someone. Me personally, I think I met you because of your aunt telling me that you were here, that I didn't even know the shop. I knew the shop existed, but I didn't think, I actually didn't think someone so vibrant and intelligent, and I didn't know what a jewel there was in meeting you and coming to this space. So I didn't know. However, when I found out, I felt as if, let me just listen and learn. I really didn't know anything about the Zambia and the culture of where most of the art, a lot of the art originates from. So getting back to what you said, I think you have to get to know a person a little bit, have some topics in common, and then feel safe enough to share.
So there's the word safe.
Yeah, I think
there's something behind that.
So
we have, the central question, we have a little outline here, is why do we as Black women sometimes feel we have to dim the light, right? And
you were welcoming and accepting of me. I don't mean to cut you off, but a lot of people are not welcoming and accepting of someone who they think they put you on some kind of intelligence pedal, as if, I don't know. I was talking to a young lady, and she said I didn't think people said this anymore, and she said, "Why are you talking white?"
Oh, girl.
And I was
They still say that?
Yes, I was getting my mammogram, and the girl who checked me in, the other Caucasian lady went in the back, and she said, "Why are you talking white?" And I said, "I'm not talking white, my dear. This is what intelligence sounds like."
Yeah, it's just talking.
Well, I'm just going to say what intelligence sounds like, because I actually enunciated, projected, and spoke whatever I said to her, gave her the impression of what, and that's how she felt comfortable enough to say it. And I said, "Call me. My number is right here in my email. I want to talk to you later on."
And that brings up a heavier issue, because I wonder in her mind, I don't, you can even tell me if you spoke with her later, that she equated intelligence with whiteness.
Yes, she did.
And see, and that's just not the case. It's just not the case.
And I don't know why at her age, because I don't know how old she is, but she's under 30. Why do you think you should have had enough exposure
To know.
Yeah.
And all different ethnicities, all different accents, highly intelligent people. And you can tell, you know, even those who do not speak correctly, pronunciate, all those different ways, you can tell there's an intelligence there.
Absolutely.
As long as you're not being prejudiced, as long as you're not being biased. There are plenty of some of the wisest people I knew did not speak English, or any English, first of all, or they did not speak English well. Speaking English well does not equate intelligence. It does not at all. There are plenty of people who could speak well, but have nothing going on up here.
Absolutely, and it was scary. So, dimming our light.
Yeah.
Safety, it's a coping mechanism. For me, it was a coping mechanism. It is a coping mechanism at times. And it's also...
Well, you touched on, I wonder if the young lady, did you have conversations with her after the fact?
I did not.
Okay. Because, so there's a point in here about it being a survival thing. That because of the spaces that we find ourselves in, that dimming our light is a way of not being recognized intentionally, because you don't want to bring too much attention to yourself. They call it the invisible person, like syndrome or something like that, where we just make ourselves invisible in order to survive.
Right.
The only problem with that is, once you've made yourself invisible, then what?
You're dismissed. You're not acknowledged. You're not even considered in conversations.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
That's
because you're a whole person.
Because you touch on that. You say more about not considered.
Not considered. Oh my! You know, when if we take it upon ourselves to diminish our light, diminish our intelligence, and not be considered, how then do you come back and address the conversation when you're ready to be considered, when you've been overlooked, because you didn't speak up for yourself when there was an opportunity, so no one thought you had any ambition or any thoughts about progressing in an area. So when you don't speak up, you're not considered. And you can speak up in a way that's not arrogant, but I noticed that if the person has any type of ego or character defect, which we all do, but if they feel as if you are too intelligent sometimes, they will kind of silence you or
humble you.
Yeah, they'll attempt to put you in your place. And that has happened.
Who is they?
Those people. Because those people are our people also. I had a supervisor who didn't write well. And I took the minutes for all of our staff meetings. I've always been a support role chick after in a certain space in my career.
Mhm.
So she decided that she was gonna have me draft emails for her and draft various thoughts from the minutes of the meeting so that she could have her reply.
Mhm.
But she was taking it verbatim and giving it to our director as if it was
Hers.
yes.
Okay.
And that was a problem for me.
Mhm.
Even though I'm your subordinate, why are you using me and not giving me any credit in any of these meetings, any spaces that I'm not in?
Mhm.
But my very good friend was an assistant director, so she was in those meetings with management
Mhm.
and found out like, okay, that's the way Beryllium talks. You know, that's her. She could
tell by the tone and whatever cadence, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
She knew.
And she asked me, she said, "Are you drafting things for so and so?" And I said, "Yeah. I mean, I thought I had to because she asked me to."
Mm.
You know.
Mhm.
So
What
anyway,
happened?
what happened is that my friend accidentally, quote unquote, CC'd me on one of the things that she replied to because when we were trying, it was tourism, so we were trying to get more tourism to Tallahassee,
Mhm.
and I went to New Orleans and saw how the cabbies were interacting with tourists.
Mhm.
And I wanted to bring that little card thing that I found in New Orleans. I wanted to bring it back to Tallahassee so you could have some talking points if you met a caddy.
Mhm.
Because back then there was no ride share.
Right. Right. I remember when they used to have the taxi drivers.
Yeah. So when you come to Tallahassee, and we wanted people to know a little bit about what to do.
Mhm.
They had these little cards. Anyway, long story short, my friend copied me on an email that was not in my I shouldn't have been privy to.
Right.
And I was able to find out that
She took your idea.
she took my idea. She went to New Orleans too, but she said she got it when she went to New Orleans. But I told her all about it. She hadn't heard about it.
Oh.
Because she wasn't in a taxi. She was
Right.
in a rented vehicle. And I was catching cabs different places. So,
Wow.
yeah, so
Okay.
it was kind of like, I felt like, okay, I'm not telling her anything else intelligent to help her
Mhm.
because I'm not going to get any credit for it.
So
And
you
I-
just stopped sharing.
I did my job, but nothing extra. No thoughts. So what do you think, Beryllium? Or what, I would never give my thoughts anymore of what I thought.
Did she notice?
Of course she did.
What happened?
I retaliated. She retaliated. Because she wasn't getting any new ideas from, I'm well traveled. I'm a military vet. Both my parents, Army, mom, dad was in the Air Force. So I've been all over. And then my private travels, I like to go places like Africa and South America, different places. So I had things to share, but it wasn't appreciated.
What did retaliation look like?
The retaliation looked like not getting the correct raise, the correct evaluation. When I had customer compliments, people coming in, I would plan the whole annual meeting. It wasn't my job, but a young lady got sick she was the event planner for the organization, got no credit for it during.
Did you ever feel like you could just sit down and have the conversation with her about it?
I did. I did on my way out because
In the accident?
yes, in the exit interview I let her know because I thought she and the HR lady. I let her know. I said if you want people to actually care, and when we care, we share more. We work better when we're acknowledged for our ideas. And I said, if you want that in the future, people who hold this support position, administrative support assistant, whatever I was, don't feel the need to take the credit all the time. Share, feel big enough. I told her to feel big enough to share the credit because most times people come to work and want, people like me give 110% and care enough for the organization, care enough for my own personal pride. But if you're not going to share the credit, don't expect to just keep using people.
Right, it gets old.
It really does. So I said that on my way out. I wouldn't say it.
While you're there.
Mm-mm.
Oh, why? I'm just curious.
I
Because it may play into one of the reasons.
I don't think that
But it plays back into survival.
it does play back into survival. We have to survive because typically, normally I would speak first
Mm-hmm.
and not care, just speak the truth. But I found it wasn't valued. So while I see when you show me who you are in a situation, circumstance, and I know that I'm a subordinate, I'm not on your level in terms of
Seniority.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I say anything?
Got it. So you had already basically puked what she was about.
Yes.
And
And my friend who was a manager, you know, she was assistant director of the place. She said, you know,
just keep it.
yeah, yeah. I didn't even want them to know that we were friends. We didn't go to lunch together in the same vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll meet you at the spot. I'm not gonna, you know, I
Yeah.
didn't want them to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. So, just a little tidbit, just a sidebar. I am wearing a necklace. Last night,
Mm-hmm.
I showed my work for the first time outside of the gallery. We're in the gallery, for those of you who have just joined. Ramírez Market, Quincy, Florida. We are live today for this week's episode of Say Anything. And last night we went to the Vagina Art Show where I was showing 2 of my pieces. And I got one of the artists made necklaces with little vagina pendants.
Stop it.
And that's what I got.
How powerful is that?
An ode to womanhood right here. Oh, it's cute. You wish you could see it up close. I might take a picture of it and let you see it up close.
That is amazing.
It's very cute. She had them in all different colors and all different sizes and shapes, and it was truly. I was like, let me grab one of these.
I like that, but you know, it's like there's I like that. It's like pussy power. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you for stopping to share that.
Yes, I wanted to share that one,
know.
and it kind of ties in because we're talking about Black women, and we're talking about the fact that you just mentioned that sometimes it basically be your own people that will take from you. Not saying that that's the normative, because it's not.
No.
And we're not a monolith. You'll never hear me say all of us or generalizations whatsoever, because that's crazy. I know that we are individuals, right?
We are.
It just hurts more, I think.
Oh yeah. The betrayal is
When we look like each other, it hurts more.
It does.
Because it's like you kind of, not kind of, I know I would anticipate a level of sisterhood.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. Talk about that. Just the first hurt in a professional space from somebody who looked like you.
Oh wow, from somebody who looked like me, first hurt. Well, first hurt probably wasn't even about, you know what? I'll say this. The first hurt I ever had was someone telling me that they did not think that I should pursue the particular education pathway that I wanted to pursue because I was too nice.
Oh.
And it was a Black woman.
Oh.
And I loved her down.
Okay.
But she said, you're too nice, you're too sensitive, you shouldn't pursue this pathway.
Wow.
And I always thought, what?
Why discourage you?
Why discourage
Why
me?
discourage you when you cared enough to share?
Yeah.
From a heart state of, you know, when you think about something, a life's work that you want to pursue, an education, a whole career path, who is she to tell you you're too nice to do that?
Too nice. And even if I was, nice. I don't think there is such a thing as too nice. You learn with age different ways of being in order to survive, for lack of a better term, in different spaces. At that point, I was in my, I was like 21, right? So although I had experienced some things in life, I had not experienced everything. So of course, and I was an optimistic person. So of course.
She said was.
I'm still optimistic. I'm just measured. I'm like, where I used to just trust, now I trust but verify. That's all.
Yes. One of my favorite things to say.
Trust but verify. And that's something that you get with age. You know, you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
So to discourage anyone from doing something just because they have a lack of experience, especially if you're in your, I think she was in her 50s at that time. Of course, you got 30 years on me.
So how did you deal with that microaggression? It sounded like a microaggression of sorts.
Well, although it hurt my feelings, I did not address it with her because at that time, you know, it was the always respect your elders type of situation. Regardless of what being said, it's just like, yes ma'am, and keep it moving. And she was my boss. So I just pushed on and went on with my plan. Because the plan was I was going to leave, I was working there for a year, and then I was going to pursue law school. And that's what she said I shouldn't pursue because I was too nice. So I continued my work. I gave my resignation with I even had somebody who was available to take my place.
So you could leave them?
I did a whole, they didn't have a training manual when I went in there, honey. I left them with a training manual.
Come on now.
Okay, and a replacement. But I went to law school.
Yes.
Okay?
Did you invite her to your graduation?
I did not. But I did invite her to my wedding over like a decade, no, 7 years later or something like that. No, so I have no animus toward her. I just think that she was of a particular age, and when she saw me, she thought of a child, like that childlike, you know what I mean, optimism that I have. And, you know, I would, you know, somebody talked to me rudely, I probably would be like, you didn't have to talk to me that way at that time, you know what I mean? But
the profession, you know, debates, you toughen up.
You toughen up.
Just to tell somebody they're too nice to do anything, just that galls me a little bit.
You get older.
I'm tender and sensitive too.
Yes.
So I may have taken that to heart. You know, you can discourage people when they really, especially if you look up to a person and they say something. And I've learned not to. I like the advice of older women, but as someone who is in her mid-50s now, and I'm looking for the nugget of wisdom from the generation before me, like my mom and aunties and different ones, I still take it off a grain of salt because I can't allow their experiences to totally shape who I am, because we're living two different
timelines.
Yes, and what they did to survive and what I'm doing to survive and trying to get to the next level in life, it doesn't always connect.
It doesn't.
And I need that wisdom. That mother wit is great. The auntie-isms are great. But when they're not applicable, I just put NA in my mind. And I don't let it hurt me because they had to live a certain life for their safety. And their peace. And
that is something that, again, you learn with age. And so, to piggyback on what you said, now at age, I'm 44. I would never tell a young person what they could and could not do. As a matter of fact, I always do the opposite. I say, don't ever let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do.
I wish I heard that growing up.
No, because ultimately it's your own life to live, right? Understand and be respectful, always be respectful, and understand that people may have their best intentions for you, and they don't want to see you suffer, and they don't want to see you go through any particular pains and things like that, and that's understandable, right? So you can hold space for that, but you don't have to carry it. Do you know what I mean? You can just take it for a grain of salt and keep pushing.
And keep pushing.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like I say, you know, my bottle of lotion is my own personal bottle. So when I take too much out, I can ease the rest back in the bottle.
And so you have to do that whole sharing thing?
Listen, I have my own set, my own washcloth, my own tube of toothpaste, my own everything, because it is personal to me, and I don't try to give that to someone else. So
I feel like there are comments on here.
it looks like somebody is saying something.
Hold on a second. I just want to say hi. I'm gonna get close. Hey y'all. There's two. Hey Jimmy. Hey Joe. Fulton was on here, and Benjek. Hi. How y'all doing? If you're enjoying the conversation, please thumbs up.
Yeah.
Please thumbs up while you're watching. Okay.
Yeah, that helps.
It does. It helps a lot. And share that we're on live. And we appreciate you tuning in.
Absolutely.
That's so funny. Your own bottle of lotion is mine.
To share your emotion with people, and they, it's too much, or they just don't.
I get what you're saying. Especially if it's some good old shea butter. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to, what is the cost of dimming your light? You kind of touched on it earlier when you said that people will not consider you.
Yeah, because you
when
won't
time. Go ahead.
No, you don't fit in the preconceived role that people want to put you in, like a little box. If the cost is not sharing your authentic self, and then sometimes you feel, I have personally felt as if I should have spoke up for myself. If I don't be my own advocate in a situation, who's
gonna do that?
Yeah, so I have to make sure that don't be afraid of being labeled, because we as Black women, if we say one thing, we're too saucy, we're too sexual, we're too everything for other people. Yeah, too loud, too aggressive, too arrogant, and
too much.
Way too much. And so, and we get that way, we get those labels, some of that from our own people, and we're not monolithic. So
we're not.
If I zig and you zag together, we can make a pretty picture.
We could.
Come on.
Come on, keep dropping your line.
I'm just saying. Sometimes we want to just paint one color, or we want to move in one circle, and other circles can overlap, and it's still okay.
It's still okay.
Can I accept you for who you are and your experiences?
Absolutely.
And not have to diminish anything about it because it wasn't my experience? Can I just love the fact that you, oh my gosh, you cared enough to step outside of the box and love on an African man? Well, that's kind of personal, but I admire that about you.
Is that far out the box?
It's intelligent. It's intelligent to pick the right one. Yes, it's out the box.
Well, and it doesn't have to do with the fact that he's African, that he's the right one.
Okay.
Well, it has to do with the fact.
I don't know that. They're different.
It has to do with the fact that he's the right one.
Okay.
So
she would know.
But I think that that's something to be said for anyone who's dating or looking to get married or anything like that. That you don't pick based on a characteristic or an idea of an individual that you want. You pick on the values that they have that are proven to you over time. So, and that means having the deeper conversations. Because you might find that what you have been closed off to was actually what was for you, what God meant for you. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't agree all the way, but I do understand.
Tell me what you don't agree
Well,
with.
I think that after having been married 26 years to the wrong person, now I look at love and marriage differently.
Okay.
And so
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna have to divert.
We're gonna stay on topic.
We're gonna have to do another live about love and marriage. Because I've been married 16 years, same person. And
I was married
divorced.
26 years, but I've been divorced roughly 7 now.
So this would be an interesting conversation to have on another live.
Mhm.
The different opinions that we have about love and
Yeah.
marriage,
Mhm.
and some of the same things we agree on.
Yeah.
So
You
you'll have to follow
Yes.
in order, and you can follow me and you can follow her on her channel because maybe you'll have the live on her channel.
Yeah, and I have a segment just to toot my own horn. I have a series called The Non-Bitter Ex-Wife.
I have seen.
Have you
the
seen
shorts?
Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to get to some of the root of things because I'm healing, and I want to let people know. Hindsight is 20/20.
Yes.
You can go back and see. Oh, I wasn't crazy.
Tell them again your site.
Oh, that YouTube channel is Sister Big Bones' Life. So it's SISTERBIGBONZ Life. Sister Big Bones' Life. And I just talk about things that I feel, but I'm digging a little deeper on the ex-wife thing because I'm thinking about getting married again, and it's gonna be an intelligent marriage. It's gonna be one where it's for a purpose, for a whole reason.
There's a whole intent.
It's a whole intent behind it. It's not all of that. It's
not love and fuzzy.
No,
it's intentional.
yeah. It's more of a business arrangement.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Zaza Zabor. No, who was it? I'm gonna say Jaja.
Okay.
She used to say, "You marry for money and then for love." I'm just don't take that. That's Jaja.
Well,
not
yeah.
me.
The first marriage is for love, and the second one is money. But I think for my age, I'm past middle age perhaps. So I need a younger man who's going to be a hospice husband. I'm going to have a series on a hospice husband. Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. I have to hear about that because men have been doing that for years.
Yeah. So
That's
now women need to learn from the examples of. Look at who's in the White House. His wife is my age, and he's 79.
Yeah,
My
my
mom's age.
Yeah,
come on now.
Okay,
So,
that's definitely a different conversation.
Okay.
We have to hold space. So pause on that one. We're not gonna talk about that one.
And I'm sorry to get off task.
It's okay. We're gonna get back to this one. Well, we're talking about why Black women didn't go right.
Yeah.
And so. One of the notes that I have here says it might be generational lessons that we're holding on to. Yeah. Particularly in the United States, because I do not see this issue with nationalities that are outside of the United States. The whole holding back what you're able to do or being confident in who you are. I don't normally, it's not to say that it does not happen. I just have not witnessed it. If you have, please sound off in the comments where you have recognized women who appear to be of Black, of race, but they may be of a different nationality who are actively dimming their light. They're not sharing all that they achieve or all of their skill sets for whatever reason. Sound off in the comments if you've experienced that. I have not. It has been more exclusive to women in the United States. And the reason I segment it that way is because, in the US we have the whole background of slavery and systematic oppression and systematic racism, and we're not going to go all into the weeds, but you do have to have some understanding of systematic oppression, systematic racism, and how it can impact women, and particularly it's more of mental warfare,
Yes.
right? It's less about being whipped and more about diminishing one's thought process and how they see themselves in the world, from skin color to weight, to how they raise their children. But at the same time, it's basically active gaslighting 100% of the time. So they will raise other people's children, but then be told that they are bad parents to their own children. Separating them from spouses and loved ones, and creating this dynamic that Black women don't want to be feminine, or they are
too masculine.
Too masculine, or all those different things that they'll say. And so then what happens is, over time, we get told that we have to blend in, assimilate. So what do? We start straightening our hair. Hence Madam C.J. Walker, shout out to the millionaire.
Yeah.
But she did it on the backs of women assimilating, and taking out what was natural to them, and straightening their hair. I mean, what do you say about that? It's like a whole generation, and then
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, because I literally wear a wig to work every day. Every day. Now, I like to wear wigs in the wintertime. I like the versatility. I can have long hair one day. I don't do blondes, but a lot of different shades of browns, and I just like the variety of the kinky hair and my, length. And I noticed that I'm treated different if the wig looks more something like what the dominant culture would wear, the bob, the straight, if they can
bust down.
Yeah. But if it's more of a Bob Marley kinky thing, it's I get the Scooby-Doo sometimes. The side, not only from them, but from my own people too. It's almost like you had the audacity to wear that to work.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you how I set someone free. And I know I did. They never have to tell me that I set them free.
Okay.
I did.
You did.
When they came, they were a supervisor, and I used to work for the federal government. I used to wear head wraps to work. I would wear my braids. I would wear my afro. But if I didn't feel like wearing I would wear my head wrap. Now, it was still cute. I would have it wrapped up, professional, you know what I mean? But I wasn't, how some people will take off to get their hair done or whatever. I was never that girl. So I would I'm just gonna wear a head wrap and be African print or whatever print, big, bold, and wrapped. Okay?
In a federal government job?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we had a new supervisor, and she always wore a wig. Always. And I think for a while, she only saw me either in braids or in, she had not seen me wear a head wrap. Okay? And then one day I showed up with my head wrap, and she never said anything to me. She just kind of looked at me. I could tell by the way she looked at me. She was looking at my head wrap, but she never said a word. Never said a word. But like a couple of weeks later, I saw her. She up until that point, and probably a whole year, never had worn a head wrap. She started wearing head wraps.
Oh, you did set her free. Absolutely.
And I don't. And she was natural to me. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I noted it. Whether or not she would ever give me credit for it, I don't know. But I took note. I said, because she's usually wearing a wig.
And there's no one else in your space wearing head wraps. So.
No, it was just me.
Okay, yeah, I like that. And we do have to have that quiet confidence in order to be ourselves, authentic to us, and that other people feel empowered to do it as well. Absolutely.
Because, there were some things, the way that I walked through life, even when I was younger, there were some things that I just never even thought someone would have the audacity to comment on. Like my hair. And when other people would tell me that they would have comments on their hair, it would it would blow my mind. Because this is just like using the bathroom. Like any type of, it just, in my brain, I cannot connect the idea of someone being so personal.
Oh my first professional job. I was told not to wear braids, take the braids out during a teaching job, FAMU High.
You worked at FAMU High?
I did.
You got graduated from FAMU High.
Did you? Well, I was a teacher, a first year teacher there. Do you remember Mrs. Hendricks, who was Colonel Hendricks' wife? When she passed away, I took her.
I was class of '99.
Oh, well.
So I don't know how.
I was gone. I was there and gone. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know because I don't remember.
Yeah, Mrs. Hendricks passed away. That's how I got my first teaching job. So she passed away in the summer of '92 because I got my first teaching job in 92, 93 school years when I began my education career at FAMU DRS. Wow, small world. Small world. Okay, so my director says that.
Did you know Miss Minnie?
Of course.
She taught me African American history.
Wow.
Yes. I love her.
I have an off-camera story to talk about Miss Minnie. Yeah. But we weren't allowed to wear braids back then to school, and they only wanted the girls to wear 2 braids in their head, and micros were becoming a thing. So
wait a minute. FAMU DRS had a hair thing
policy.
Policy back
Yes.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a whole big thing. There was a whole parent-teacher, the Parent-Teacher Association rose up and said, listen, our children, we're HBCU. Why they allow elementary girls to have different, because but when you got to middle school, high school, they only want you to have 2 braids.
The 2 like this or going down like that?
2.
Okay. Gotcha.
And teachers, they didn't want you to have any.
Wow.
So I got my first weave because my director said, listen, if you want to be here beyond this school year, you need to change your hair.
Wow.
Yes.
This is news.
So
this is breaking news.
Dr. Ada Pernier Barrett, Dr. Barrett said, if you want to be here, you're gonna have to change your hair. Miss Daniels at the time. And I said, Mrs. Daniels, I said, okay. And I took those braids out and began to wear weaves, began to wear wigs. And it was painful for me because I went to FAMU and I never thought we had this kind of thing against our own people, that our natural state of our hair was not appreciated, or if we wanted to embellish it with extensions, it wasn't considered professional.
See, and that will go, what that goes to show is that just the schools were created in order to separate them from white students, not necessarily to keep them from receiving the same systemic racism. It's still, please help me out, systemic
racism, yeah.
It's still there.
Yes.
The oppression is still there. It just was, let's put it in a different house.
Shifted. Yeah. And it was sad to me because I was trying to get my footing. I was only I had seniors. So I was only 4 years older than them. And they were very difficult to control as a first year teacher. And I was thinking, I like some of their hairdos. I want to look youthful and fresh. And I felt like I had to act I had to set a different professional tone.
You know what though? They still had very much those, I think they still had something in place when we were around, not about hair, because everybody wore their hair differently. I don't know what the teacher's policy was, but I do know that young teachers couldn't, even if they were pregnant, they couldn't show it. Even though they were the teacher, and pregnancy happens, right? Particularly if they were unmarried.
Oh, it's a big deal. I don't remember anybody being in that category when I was there, but I could easily remember a young girl getting pregnant and she couldn't stay.
Well, not they weren't a student.
I know
They were
faculty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
faculty.
So I wouldn't think that would be a
That was
thing.
still an issue because I remember a teacher who was she was fresh out of college, but she was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was late '90s, right?
Wow.
Probably '98,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And there was still
And she was hiding her pregnancy. She already had a child. She was hiding her second pregnancy.
Wow.
Which was crazy to me.
But
And she would never answer whether or not she was actually pregnant. And I said, oh, they still have that. They have that rule that they can't be. So okay. So that's speaking to the policing of Black women,
mm-hmm.
how we look, our behavior, and you're trying to survive.
Absolutely.
Right? You're trying to avoid being labeled.
Yes.
And then they have the next thing where it's like fear of rejection or isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Being the only one in the space.
Yeah. Because I was in the situation where I was working at an engineering company as their an admin support, some type of thing. But one of the only other ladies there, would come and touch my hair. And I'm
What was
like,
I gave you?
I'm like,
it gives me
I
like
had
a
to tell
thing
her,
right in the back of my head.
I told her, I said, I know you don't mean any harm, or we're the only two ladybugs here. You know, I was softening it with us being the only two girls here. But,
Yeah.
But for where I come from, we don't touch each other's hair uninvited.
The way that made me shiver back here is crazy.
I would never touch anybody's hair without asking permission.
Mm-hmm.
She thought it was okay to,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, when you do like this at the top of someone's head, it's like you're not patting the dog.
And then, like, I had a coworker do it on a slick, try to do it on a slick. Oh, you have something in your hair. And I might have very well had something in my hair.
Mm-hmm.
But you should have still asked. And because I realized, because she lingered too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, she tried to feel texture with my hair.
You know what? Disingenuous.
Like, girl, stop.
Yeah, she's like, is that your hair? She would always come in, is that your hair? Or is it? Like, yeah, it's my hair. I purchased it.
You literally could just ask. I mean, I would rather someone ask and me give you an explanation than to have you touch my hair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't own anyone. I mean, it's too personal to think that you have the right to touch anyone.
Mm-hmm.
A workspace. I asked my mother, can I touch her?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I asked permission. I'm like, Mama, you got something? Is okay if you know, I just think that's personal space.
Because you never know what mood somebody's in.
And that's the part. That's really why.
That's a big part.
Yes.
So, and I want to speak on being the only one. When I grew up in a primarily white space in Missouri, part of my childhood was in Missouri, and so I was sometimes the only Black girl in the classroom. And I remember another student asking me why my lips were so pink. But luckily, this young child had red hair, and he was the only one in the classroom with red hair. So my retort was the same reason you have red hair. You know what I mean? And he never questioned me again, right? That worked out, but sometimes it doesn't always.
And she's smarter than the average bear, so she had to quit back.
But I always remember that, and I was just like, being in the only space sometimes can help prepare you.
For sure.
But sometimes it can also help, what's the word? Perpetuate that behavior of diminishing yourself.
Oh,
of hiding.
yeah, because you want to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be liked. You want to be
You want to have friends.
appreciated. You want to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're the only one in the space, you hear other children say, we're going to go to the sleepover or somebody's birthday party, outside of school time, and you don't get that invite. And you're wondering, is it because
Black of or is it because they just don't know me well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but how do you get to know me unless you
engage and talk
Mm-hmm.
and our parents sometimes I think parents can help with that a little bit by saying, reach out to someone different other than the same children you play with.
right?
I think I don't know if I remember being a little black girl in a mostly white space and having to explain why my hair was straightened and I had the curls after Easter. You have everything's still cutesy-fied.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I don't want to go. I don't want to go swimming with y'all because it's gonna mess up my hair. Having to explain that.
I understand.
Yeah. And so you get isolated sometimes if you
do.
don't want to because they don't understand your cultural sensibility.
Right.
You went through a lot to get your hair
done. You want it to last for as long as you can.
right, and then when it's
Because it really wasn't about getting the hair wet as much as it was about we just got our hair done.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to last for 2-3 weeks before we go get our hair done again. That because I didn't have like an issue swimming or getting my hair. It was just I just got my hair done. You don't understand.
Yeah. And I love to swim, but I was not messing up my hair.
Not gonna mess up my hair to do it. And then I would get sometimes from so how St. Louis was, because we lived in a suburb outside of St. Louis, they did, I don't know what they're doing now when it comes to their schooling, but back then when I was there, they bused children from the city out to the suburb.
Really?
So the black children mainly lived in the city, and the white children lived in the suburb. I lived in the suburb.
Okay.
So the black children would ask me if my mom was white because I was living in the suburb.
Oh.
And if somebody in my family had to be white in order for me to be living in the suburb.
Wow.
Which was crazy town. Right?
But
So much so that I actually went home and my mom is fairer and I said to her, are you white?
she wasn't afraid to ask the question. I bet she
I
looked
didn't
at you.
know. She was like, what?
I know she looked at her like.
I was a child. I was young then. I was really, really young.
But did your parents affirm? Did they tell you that you had? Did they have affirmations for you as a young black girl?
Oh, my mom always did.
She did.
My mom did it in such a way that it also desensitized me from ever thinking that a word was negative, like the word color. Because she would say my pretty colored girl.
Oh.
And so by the time I actually heard someone say it with a negative connotation, I had heard it so many times in a positive way that even though I picked up on the fact that it was negative, it didn't hurt.
Right.
It had absolutely no sting whatsoever.
Yeah, I love that. The parents do have to figure out how to bulletproof their children a little bit. Because you're going to get these arrows and darts headed your way.
Yeah.
And if your mother, I'm going to say mother because a lot of times that's the teacher of, I see mothers interact and teach a way that daddies teach also, but different. Because you get the boo-boo and you run to mama and you make it better. Daddy's like going to scoop you up and say whatever. But I believe that if we give children those positive retorts, the things they can say to themselves, and then they remember that as young women, and they remember that as that college girl who goes off to school knowing that she's good enough, even though she's meeting all these different people who are totally different from her. If you get it at home and you believe it, even if you doubt it later on, it's
still there.
Yeah.
It's in you.
And I think it's important to have it. I don't believe my mother had any positive affirmations for us growing up, other than just saying that You're your own individual person.
Mhm.
Nobody's name on your behind is more important than your name that you write on your paper. She
The
never,
meaning, okay, the
yeah,
clothes
she
and the-
yeah,
mhm.
because when we wanted labels and stuff, she said, no, that's not important. What's important is that you feel pride and that you can write your name on your schoolwork and be proud of what you present to your teacher.
It sounds like she really advocated for education.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
But there was not anything about, there wasn't anything about, okay, your skin color, or your weight, or it was.
Well, there's something to be said for that. Maybe it was, and I'm just, hypothesizing. Maybe it was one of those things that if it's not something that I would comment on, it does not really matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, so here's in the South, people love to talk about people's weight.
Yes.
Or they love it. It's like the first thing that comes out of their mouth.
Oh yeah.
And it's horrible to do to people, first of all, because they tend to internalize it.
Mm-hmm.
But if a person never says anything about it, then it's like there are other more important things for you to focus on. That's not what the focus is.
Mm-hmm.
What she did focus on, your mom, was get an education.
Yes.
That's what she wanted y'all to focus on.
She really
not
did.
your skin color, not because you can walk through this world regardless,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm just surmising.
I think that you're probably pretty correct on some things. And then when Oprah came about, and we were watching a show one day, and I said, Mama, why do you? It was something about how to maneuver in the life as a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Mama, why you never mention that? Some things we would listen to on the Oprah Winfrey Show, we had never had those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oprah opened up some topics for us.
Right.
And she said, well, I couldn't give you what I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I couldn't give you what I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new topic to me too. My
Mhm.
parents didn't discuss these things with us.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, okay. Well then, you're off the hook then. Sometimes you want to bring their parents to everything.
You got to give your parents grace because they're doing the best they can with the information that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then as people get better, they do better.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we're doing the best we can with the information that we have. And we'll do better as time goes by as
I
well.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's why I tell myself, it's important what you think about yourself, but really no.
Mm-hmm.
It's important what you focus on. And then I also remind myself I got 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I got 12 hours to mind my business
Mm-hmm.
and 12 hours to leave other people's business alone. So when I mind my business, I'm edifying myself.
Yes.
I'm being positive. I'm not the reason anybody's gonna need therapy, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna hurt. I'm not gonna harm. I'm not gonna hinder. I'm minding my business.
You're minding your business.
Yes.
And I guess that goes to this is a Buddhist monk, and I can't think of her name, but she mentioned. I hope I'm giving credit to the right person because you said 24 hours in a day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about not focusing on any particular bad thing that happened in a day or you celebrate the small rewards, right? The small things and be grateful in those moments, but then you have to move on because you want to kind of ride those waves. You don't want to drown yourself, and you don't want to go above it. You just kind of want to ride them. And so, good or bad, you know what I mean? Good or bad, you just ride the wave of the day. So so it's 24 hours a day. Why would I focus on 5 minutes that didn't go my way? There are so many other hours
Yes.
to focus on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that those 5 minutes can hurt.
They can hurt.
We're going to acknowledge those 5 minutes that hurt, and then we're going to build in our little coping mechanisms. So sometimes we need to reflect. Why did that hurt me?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that hit?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I like to keep my pain buttons covered, my invisible shield. I have this avatar that I have when I go out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my. I don't think everybody needs to know my resume or my story unless I'm ready to share it with you.
Okay, so this is good. This is a good pivot. because you're saying, okay, I've heard this before. Someone, because there was a young lady who I shared with you. I found out had like 2 masters and was very well educated, whatnot. And from the sound of it, though, when I was talking to her, I said, "But you're not sharing this information with people about how educated you are and things like that." It's like, I know that you are an intelligent person because of our interactions and our conversations, but you're not just overtly out there sharing things with people.
Right.
And then follow up with that, someone was talking to me about my background, and she was like, she was reading something that I gave to them. And she was like, "You really did go to law school, didn't you?" And I said, "Well, yes." And she said, it shows in this paperwork, right? And I was like, "Yes." He was like, "But you don't walk around like that." And it comes to upbringing. For me, it comes to upbringing. For the young lady, it was more of a protection thing.
Right. I can imagine 2 masters.
But for me, it was more of I could care less about somebody's title. But that can also rub people the wrong way. I know this, that because I could care less about what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If I don't care about my title, you know I don't care about yours. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have not me, and when I say I don't care, I'm not diminishing your accomplishment. I just know that people are more than a title.
Right.
And that a title does not represent whether you're a good or bad person. It's something that you earned.
It's a part of your story, but people lead with that. And I don't mind calling you Dr. Wimbia because you got a Juris Doctorate. I love that, but don't call her that. But I like to think that I think that that's the title that she earned. If I feel like calling her that, I call her Queen. You know,
I would much rather be called Queen.
It just depends, how I'm feeling. I may say that once in a while, Dr. Wimbia. I like the way it sounds. But remember a story you told me where someone at work, you wanted to be called Mrs. You wanted them to.
I wanted them to address. Well, okay. So here's what happened. People that I have worked with for over 12, 11, whatever, 10 years, more than that, were still mispronouncing my name, and flippantly so. Okay, and then so we ended up getting a supervisor change with someone who I had worked with, and then we used to be on the same. We used to have the same position titles.
Okay.
And then they got promoted over time, which was fine. But what happened was that I had like 3 or 4 different supervisors before this person became my supervisor, who, when I signed my emails, I always had JD after my name, okay? All for like over 10 years, 10, 11 years. The moment this person became a supervisor, they asked me to stop putting my educational credential after my name. And that pissed me off because no other supervisor I had cared. It was just this particular person.
Wow.
And when I asked them why, they referred to a policy that really, to me, did not reflect properly, because I wasn't holding myself out to be anything that I was. And it was only internal emails. It was never external emails.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that it had and the policy had to do with public perception, and the public never even knew.
Wow.
It was only internal. I'll also say, to give context, at the time I was a union steward, which means that I advocated for other employees. So part of it, I think, was a way to humble me. Okay, I think that what was behind it was just trying to humble me, because nobody else had any issue. So what ended up happening was, because I knew it was an attempt to humble me, I made it an issue. I made them have to put it on record somewhere else other than in our office, so that it would be known that that they basically tried to humble me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that it would also be known that nobody else ever attempted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said my supervisors prior to that had been all races, had been all genders. Okay? So it had nothing to do with my supervisors prior to this particular supervisor had been both men and women, had been black, white, Hispanic. You get what I'm saying? And not one had an issue. Only this particular person who had formerly also been in the same position as me.
Wow.
So they made an issue with her, was none. And so ultimately what ended up happening was that because of what happened, I didn't get to put the credentials after my name in regular work emails, but as a union steward, I was able to keep it. Okay, because they couldn't touch me as a union steward. In regular work emails, I had to drop it. However, they could only address me as Mrs. Mumbia. They couldn't call me by my first name anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I made a title an issue. But it wasn't because I cared.
Right.
It's because they cared too much.
You have to stand up for yourself, though. I like that, because that was a microaggression that made a mountain out of a molehill.
Right. It was like, well, you know, I guess it's like if you want to be petty, you could be petty.
Yeah, take it to the Serengeti. Let's be petty.
You know.
And I don't like to get petty, but sometimes you have to stand on principle.
That's all it was principle.
Because
I could care less.
Yeah, stand on principle all day, every day. Because when it comes down to it, we as women, we don't have the same fight all the time.
No.
You know, and depending on, a lot of working mothers have a different fight than other women. I've noticed that they're not, if they don't have a family, sometimes you're expected to do certain things and take up the slack sometimes.
Right.
When and it's okay, you want that mom to be able to go and do and make sure her children are good.
Right.
That's important, to be able to go and tend to whatever. But don't do it different because a black woman needs to do the same thing for her children.
Right.
You know,
don't suddenly make it brand new.
Right. Like, where's the dad? Don't ask where the dad is. It's no, just because your husband or your co-parent can go and do, don't question the black mama, what she has to do to take care of her children. I've seen that sometimes where intelligent black women have had to make choices, had to use their village in order to keep a job because they couldn't do the same things as what was accepted for other people in the job.
Like literally bringing your children to work.
Yes. And it's not bringing your child to work day.
And it's not bringing your child to work day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Their child is sitting up under the desk, playing around,
but
on Cheerios,
right.
But the black mom could never do that.
Couldn't do it. So, and that, I guess that's playing favorites. And you know.
What made you exhale like that?
I have this whole issue with playing favorite. Obviously, it's like people have favorites. I get it. I said in a prior podcast, hey, if I had my own friends and family and I could hire them, big Nepo over here, everybody would be up, right? But also, I wouldn't be putting people in positions that they did not belong, though. I have intelligent people in my family.
Yes.
Okay? I have intelligent, capable people that I can put in particular positions that they would have earned it. Therefore, I can put them there. Right?
But it doesn't matter around here, though.
That's the problem.
Bubba's going to put his nephew, Leroy,
who has no experience,
and
then say that I'm a DEI hire.
Yes. Have you noticed that?
That's crazy. How can I have all the degrees and the experience and be a DEI hire, and then XYZ has a high school diploma and zero experience?
Zero.
And it's okay. Now, if you're going to be about the nepotism, find the right qualified individual that you're going to be big nepo with. Then I couldn't argue about the value of it because their value matched the other person's value, whoever it might be that's in that position. But if value on paper, let me be very clear. I don't know what the extra value is, but on paper, if the resumes match, then I don't care who you ultimately pick, nor do I care why, because the resumes match. Okay, but if one has a super duper deficient resume as compared to the other, that's a problem. That's a problem.
And people don't get called out on it enough. But I like when they changed the name of, there was a study where they changed the name of somebody who had an obviously ethnic name with the same credentials and submitted the resume, and then they end up, okay, they were able to get the interview.
Right.
But the exact same resume, they weren't offered the job. But
once they saw them in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a problem.
It's a problem. But what can we do about it?
What can you do about it? But that's what diversity, equity, and inclusion was supposed to be about. It was about the fact that at least get them both to the interview. At least get all qualified people on paper to the interview. We can't determine what happens afterwards. We can't determine if they'll be able to keep the job, right? But they all are qualified. Absolutely. So therefore, let's all get them there, and then you all can decide. I can't fault you. If once you interview them, like we can't sell you them, right?
Right. You don't fit for whatever reason. But yet you were in the door. You were
able to get in the door instead of having it slammed in your face. Yeah. Because the other part of the opposite end of that is the personal work that people and individuals have to do in order to get over their biases and their prejudices. And I can't help you with that. Do you know what I mean? A person has to want to actively engage in changing their bias against other individuals, against ourselves. We have bias built in against our own selves. Yes. That's called self-hate.
It is.
Based on what we experience in life. And every ethnicity will go through this. It's not singular to just black folks. It really isn't.
No.
We're doing it from a black woman's perspective because that's where we are. Right? But every ethnicity has some type of background in this around the world. And the question is, how do we all better ourselves in order to get to a point where we just see ourselves and each other as individuals, and we build from the value of our characters and not all the other craziness that is coming with it. So, okay, we got to get through these points. Dimming why black women dim their light, navigating respectability politics, which kind of ties into survival mode to me. It says here, long-standing pressure to prove oneself acceptable by the mainstream. We talked about this, assimilation, dressing a certain way, wearing our hair a certain way, in order to be accepted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Front office appearance.
I
was told that I had good front. I went to a temp agency to get a job, and the black recruiter was like, "Yes, you have great front office appearance."
That is a crazy term.
You have great front office appearance.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And I said, "Oh, okay."
I tell you about the time I had to cut a weave out of my head. It was itching me so bad.
Ooh.
It was the last time I ever put a weave or so.
Oh yeah, you have to do the pad, and you definitely have to take care of the parts.
No, it had just been sewn in.
Oh, and you cut it out.
My husband helped me cut it out.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Never
again. I
would never.
She said never.
Did you hear me?
And you shouldn't say never.
No.
She said never.
No. I would literally have to be. Wow, I'm trying to think of a situation where I would put myself through that again.
She probably won't, because there is none, right? There's no reason.
I'm trying to think. Bill Gates walked in and was like, I'll give you $1 million if you put a weave in your head. So
there's a lot of selling that I would do for $1 million for a temporary situation.
Boy, temporary time. You mean I just have to sell?
That's a no-brainer.
No.
That's a no-brainer, but
I don't want to keep it in. You just said I had to sell it in.
Let's be smart about these things, because a milli would help right now.
It would, and then I could go on and help the kids, help the children, and go on a no weave campaign.
Come on now.
But I don't really care how you make it.
I like it.
I just know for me that was a crazy experience. And anyway, it just made me think about that, the whole respectability politics and wearing your hair a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna lose every time if it's about my hair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lose the whatever the respect is that I'm supposed to be getting. I'm not gonna get it if I have to be told that I have to wear a wig.
Yeah. Well, I was told I had to take my braids out. Now, I chose to wear the weave. I chose to wear wigs because I knew that I was gonna get up and curl my hair every morning.
Yeah. But yours is not sewn in.
No.
I
I was thinking back when I was a first year teacher. That whole thing that kind of, it traumatized me to be told that I couldn't wear my braids when I went to an HBCU where there were beautiful braids that I paid good money to have installed, and told that was not acceptable at my job.
Did you have to do it the same day? Like you couldn't even wear it?
I was told right before a Christmas break, because I got them for Thanksgiving.
Okay, so they blessed you, but not saying it the entire time.
I got called in. Right?
That would have really boiled my butter.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. They would have been in, and then we would have all kind of lawsuits probably or something.
Because I just paid for you.
Yeah, and so but when I came back for the new year, I did not have them. And they were still acceptable to me. They still looked good to me, but I didn't have them because I was told not to. Okay. And I wanted to keep my job.
That was strategic.
Mind you, I did not get hired. I didn't get rehired for another school year at FAMU DRS. It took me years to come back there. I was one and done.
So they made you change yourself, and then you still didn't get. See,
me
let that be a
contract.
lesson.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson, if nothing else. Changing yourself does not guarantee that you're going to get anything from it. So you might as well do what is comfortable to you instead of placating into the people's hands, and then they turn around and they don't give you what you were looking for anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and we touched on this a little bit too. Another reason why Milton relied is internalized messaging. Over time, if society consistently signals that you're too smart, you may start believing it. The internalized doubt can keep you from stepping fully into your power. So too much, too this, too that.
Yeah. Because I had a relative who used to say, you have book smarts, but where's your common sense? Your book smarts mean nothing if you can't maneuver out here on these streets. And it made me feel like something was wrong with me. Yeah, I had a relative that told me that. You need to be book smart, you need to be more street smart.
They needed to be more book smart.
But then you have people who want to make you feel bad so they can feel better about themselves.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
it comes from all angles. It's hurtful when it comes from family or someone who looks like you. And then it's hard to find a mentor who, I don't know, where do you find peer mentorship? How do you get affirmed as a Black woman to another? You know, I tried it with sorority, and with organizations. And I still felt as if my ideas,
Were dismissed?
Absolutely. Because it came from me. But then
because it came from you, or because they were beyond the confines that people were able to handle?
I would say both, only because the idea manifested later after I wasn't an active member. It was taken, it wasn't received at the time, but later on it was implemented.
Oh, so there was a specific idea
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, yeah, there's variation. That's some hate. You know.
But I come across that. That's the only reason why I would dim my light in order not to. I don't believe that people care if you have a good idea in general, if it's going to help them look good. Because I like to make my supervisors look good.
100%. 100%.
Yet, I know that I'm casting my bread upon the water. It's going to come back later because I may not get credit at that point in time, and it's okay. Because what I give from the heart now, and I share.
I don't know, I battle with that whole sentiment. I really do.
I leave it out there, and now I don't say things that I don't. I hold some things close and say, this is not my billy whack. I just come here to get a check. Other things, if I see that there is some way to comment, share, add value, I have to just put it out there and not worry about if it
Hours, right.
Yeah.
Now, I have done that because if I genuinely want something to succeed,
Mm-hmm.
which most of the time I do,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not I ever get credit for it or not, I'm gonna just keep putting the ideas out there in the space because that's how things sometimes get generated. And overall, it ends up helping everybody.
Right.
You know, rising tides, what? Lift
All
all boats.
Yeah.
How and
ever.
if you're consistently giving out the ideas and people, I think this is the critical part. People, there is a funeral passing, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Florida Highway Patrol.
Passed away, and they are having a funeral, and I believe that they are having a procession right now. So that noise you hear is that. Okay, so what was I saying? All right. Rest in peace.
However, you were saying that you're okay with putting things out there that will help everyone at
Right.
a particular concern
Okay.
because all votes are.
Thank you. What I'm not okay with is being used to have, this is the main part, actively have someone try to pick your brain and befriend you on a deceitful basis. I would rather you just be upfront and straight out and be like, can you tell me how you did X, Y, Z? Because I'm trying to do da 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 da. Right? And it could be the exact same thing that I'm doing. I'd rather you do that than to sit up here and be like, girl, I just love what you're doing. And try to be sneaky about it. Can you, well, how did you do that? I don't, and then also self-deprecate in the same process as well. They'll put themselves down in order to lift you up. I don't have that ability. Da da da, you're so smart. Like, you don't think I see what you're trying to do?
And that's
Who does that?
a lot of people. Because people will authentically walk through the world. They'll tiptoe, they'll slither. Sometimes they move. And I think to me, it comes back to, if it's our own people, it comes back to way back how the House and Field Negroes interacted. Sometimes people will mask their true intentions to gather information, to recon, to give it to someone else.
To give it to someone else. Or to use it for themselves.
Or use it for themselves.
And like I said, just tell me straight up. Don't mask it. Don't, because as much as I have learned from the past, I honestly still am at heart an optimistic.
I love it.
And I am also genuine in my want for people to live better lives.
Okay.
So if you ask, I more than likely will answer. You know what I mean?
Gotta be bold
Without
enough to ask.
But you just have to ask.
I like it.
And I realize other people aren't necessarily like me, but I don't feel I don't feel like there's any claim to God's messaging. Does that make sense? So, and I also feel like God can give a million people, the same idea, and it's just about who implements it first. Just because you had direct line to a person who implemented it doesn't mean that someone halfway across the world didn't also get the same idea. You're gonna be mad with that person too? No. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know them.
You don't know them.
So it's also possible that he gave the same idea to someone in your neighborhood. That doesn't mean they stole it from you.
That's true.
It just means that they implemented it faster, right? That's why I feel like if you just ask me directly, I'll share it. You ask me the information. You want to know the app I'm using? I'll tell you the app. You're not going to use it the same way though. It's guaranteed. Because what they say, you leave a horse in water, you can't make them drink. You can teach people the same technologies and they not use them the same way or have the same ability to reach. I would use us as an example. You are a great networker. I am working on my networking skills. I would have, your reach is genuinely better and you have a way with words that is 100% fantastic. Right?
That's kind.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
Okay.
It's I want you to take it in.
Thank you.
I have to work, it's a skill set that I have to work at, right? And that's okay. So we could both have the same ability to sit in front of a camera and talk, right? But your reach may be better because it's genuinely in you, whereas I have to work at it a little bit more.
I understand.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's okay.
It's okay. Absolutely. There's one gifting and different manifestations is how, we get that pretty rainbow that people want to talk about. But, we have to share and care and learn and grow. And it's authentic to you to have to work at it and whatever you want to grow and develop. You said something on one of your podcasts about like you had to learn different aspects of technology and to apply certain things. Your business made you grow. Talking to people has made me grow because I realized the things I'm not stuck any longer on different topics because I'm willing to share and willing to speak from an authentic space because it's just my story.
Right.
And it may resonate or it may not. But I know that when we withhold sometimes a part of us and protect a certain part of our story, we're going to get the opportunity to share it. I'm getting the opportunity to share how I feel about being a Black woman who has to dim her light. And we have connected in a way that makes me wonder if more of you have connections that you would like to share. I think you should put in the comments, what do you think we should talk about next as Black women? Because we have a diverse life experience.
And background,
Yeah, I think a listener will probably have something, have been taught or thought. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm hungry. And I get talked about at home for having these hunger brain lapses. But I think our audience, your audience, and I know my audience can look at this and learn something different about me.
And how people think and how it's not all the same. There's going to be someone who watches who's like, I completely 100% disagree. Well, tell us why.
Please do.
Tell us why you disagree. Let's have a conversation.
I think it's important to have the conversation because I'm not in, I haven't been like in corporate America where I tried to get a surprise guest to come with me today to talk about her experience of being the only Black person in the room in corporate America.
Okay.
And I hope after she looks at this, maybe
She'll come another day. Yes, I want to do a roundtable. I'll tell you this. I do want to do a roundtable live because there are with different ages of women in this area to talk about their experience and go live. Because and every single person that I've thought of so far are very authentic. They are okay with speaking their truth, and that's what I love.
Okay.
That's what I love about
I think that would be great because women younger than us, they need
younger than
notes.
us,
we need their notes.
Absolutely.
A woman older,
Absolutely.
same age, because there's a 10-year, 12-year gap between us somewhere in there. 14,
Yeah.
I could have been a babysitter, but she's smarter than me.
She lies through her teeth talking about smarter. Okay, y'all.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me to come.
This is fun.
It was.
I thought in that. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, so like, subscribe, share, follow, and remember to go to her page, Sister Big Bones.
Sister Big Bones is life.
And
Beryllium Smart.
and like, subscribe, and follow. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.